What's going on, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between? It is I, Neøn MUA, and I am here to I want to say greatness, but obviously, yeah, I'm here to at least show or bring you some kind of like uplifting spirit. It may take a while for me to get to the uplifting spirit, but we're going to get there. But today I just want to, I don't want to say escape, because the issues that are going on in the world, clearly if you guys aren't aware, then just log off. But there are so many issues in the world that are affecting black people, and particularly black queer people, black trans people. So many different things that are going on in this world that people are like constantly discussing, and yet still trying to like find a sense of normalcy through it all, which is very challenging to say the least. Just formalities out the way. Hi, my name is Neøn. I do makeup content. I do other content as well. If you like what you see at any point, you can go ahead and give this video a huge thumbs up and support. It means so much. Also, if you want to continue seeing this face from here on out, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell as well so that you don't miss the next time I upload. And we're going to get into a hopefully this video will be some form of healing for you, because I want it to be a form of healing for me as well. And that's what the goal is. So let's go.
It's one of them nights. It's one of them nights. I feel it. It's one of them nights. No inhibitions.
I've been struggling to do this video for over a month, clearly, because of everything that's been going on. All the challenging experiences that we as black people have had to constantly face is being brought more and more to the front line, and there's some good coming out of it, there's some bad coming out of it, but overall it has been very taxing on the mentality of black people as a whole. And so that's what I kind of want this video to address, is that because there's so many videos out now that are talking about like why this is wrong and why black people should be treated better. And so there are plenty of content creators you can look for, plenty of black creators that are discussing these issues full on, and I commend and applaud them. I have expressed my issues and concerns more so on Twitter as well as Instagram, but I feel like at least with YouTube I want to offer something different, because one of the things that always seems to come to fruition is that in the midst of expressing black issues and black concerns, a lot of times the black mentality is put to the back burner. Like, black people deal with so much. I want this video to be a focus on our mental well-being, and also help to be a form of escape for a lot of us who've been bombarded with so much negativity and so much hardship on the timeline. So yeah, this video may get uncomfortable at times. And so if this video makes you uncomfortable, then you need to keep watching, because the uncomfort that you may feel from topics such as race is the uncomfort that we feel on a daily basis. So I strongly urge you to sit through this entire video and watch it. If you can't, I don't consider you an ally, and that's the God honest truth, because I don't get to put how I feel about black issues to the back. So I really want this video to be some form of like mental cleansing for us, because we need it. There have been plenty of instances that have been going on in the United States alone that involve black lives and police brutality and things of that nature. And particularly everyone's been talking about Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. And so obviously there's severity in these issues. And I think, and I like to think at least, that people understand the severity of these issues, but I don't think everyone is fully grasping it. So what I want to do is show you guys how much police brutality affects us and how intense this is. And like, it's more than just someone died. Like, it's like excessive behavior used against black people, black and brown people in general, but specifically black people, and the lives of black people are being treated as less than human. And so what I want to do, and what's going to be extremely uncomfortable for people watching, but again, I'm not here to make you comfortable with my blackness. So for the next 8 minutes and 46 seconds, I am going to be doing my makeup in complete silence. There's not going to be any speed through. There's not going to be like anything to make this period of my video easier for you to intake, because I feel like there's still so much severity that people are missing. So for, like I said, for the next 8 minutes and 46 seconds, I'm going to be doing my makeup in silence in representation of the 8 minutes and 46 seconds that George Floyd was brutally murdered with in terms of police brutality and excessive force, thanks to the officers that killed him. This was a homicide. That's what this was. And so, because we think 8 minutes isn't that long, but I want to let you guys, I want people to see how long 8 minutes is in 46 seconds. And we are going to start that timer. Alright guys, so we're going to talk about like I said, I want this video to take a bit of a different approach as to like a lot of videos that are going around now. Obviously there's so much information about Black Lives Matter and police brutality and just everything as a whole. And so I encourage you, if you still are in the dark about the events that are going on, turn this video off and go educate yourself. Especially if you are someone who considers yourself an ally to black people, go take the time to educate yourself, because you can't consider yourself an ally and then sit by complacently while these things are going on. So, strongly urge you to do that. So what I want to discuss now is the topic of mental health. Mental health is something that like a lot of, and if you are black, you're aware this, a lot of black people do not discuss their mental health because it's seen as like either weak or unimportant. We as black people were told that, you know, mental health is a white man's issue. It's not. Depression is a white man's issue, and it's not. There's so many studies about like inherited depression, inherited anxiety that have come from the fact that our ancestors have dealt with so much, from slavery to Jim Crow to racial segregation and everything in between. Like, so there's like this theory that yes, our generation is still affected mentally by slavery and all of these things. So mental health is very important. As someone who deals with ADHD and someone who has dealt with like anxiety or has dealt with anxiety in some form or fashion and has had friends and family members who have dealt with these things, mental health is extremely important, you guys, and I want everyone to take it seriously, especially during these times. First, I want to commend and applaud everyone who is like taking the issue of Black Lives Matter very seriously. I especially want to commend those who are remembering to include black queer lives and black trans lives, especially during Pride Month. I want to commend everyone who is doing the job. This message is important because I feel like a lot of people, and a lot of times with situations like this where it deals with some form of oppression, people tend to be like, oh, I support this, and it's cute for a moment, and then it dies off, and then it just becomes a cycle again where something traumatic happens and we have to like continue to fight. If you are someone who is non-black and you are tired and you are just like, I want to continue fighting but I'm worn out, understand that you don't have that option. Like, you automatically, if you are not black, have some form of privilege in this specific discussion. You don't get to just say, okay, well, I've done my part, I'm going to sit back and just be okay with it. You don't get the chance to do that. You don't get the chance to just decide when you want to tap out, because we don't. Like, we have been fed up for years, for generations, and this is still an ongoing issue. So if you are black, or if you're non-black and you are tired, get your ass back out there and keep fighting, because you don't get to be tired here. Like, this isn't a place for you to be tired. If you are black and you are tired, understand that that is a completely valid emotion to have. There have been so many of us who have like detached from society, have had to detach from our regular going about. So like, myself included, like I just couldn't post makeup looks. I couldn't do anything because it was like, why am I going to continue? Like I didn't have, I won't say the drive, but like I knew I had an obligation to use my platform in a way that was for the betterment of the cause. I understand that even though my platform is makeup based, I still have a platform, and as I've told you guys countless times before, if there's any kind of change I can make for the betterment of black people with my platform, I will do it. Whether that's in makeup directly, in some form of entertainment, or just in general. Like, I have a responsibility as a black person to help make a change for an issue that I believe in. So that's what's been going on. Needless to say, there are times where as a black person I have just been tired. I have been drained and I have given up on myself sometimes in these situations. And I've hated it because it's like, what more can I do? I know there's more I can do, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes you grow tired of like constantly fighting, and this is completely valid. If you're someone who has dealt with this, if you're a black person who has dealt with these same emotions, these emotions are completely valid, because we have had to give so much of ourselves to fight for basic human rights that it gets to a point where it's like, well, what? I'm not saying give up completely, because I haven't given up completely, but there have been a few days where I've just like shut myself off of all like feelings and emotions because I've grown so tired, and that's completely valid. But that brings apart a bigger issue of how we as black people are taking care of ourselves mentally and emotionally, especially during times like this. I want you, if you're black, if you're watching this video, to just sit, take a second, and ask yourself, what is it that you have done for yourself in the midst of all of this? What have you done to like take care of your mental well-being? Like, if you're someone who feels like they always have to be on the front line, that's fine. But understand at some point your well-being is important. And so I just want this to be a reminder to people that like, we are still human, we still deal with these things. Like, we are fighting for basic human rights pretty much. And one of the things that comes up with basic human rights is our mental well-being. We can't like exhaust ourselves. And so this is in no way saying that people should just stop protesting. That's not what I'm saying at all. Continue the good fight. If anything, this is the time now where people need to be recharged. And with that recharge comes some form of like you can't like run on and on forever. Does that make sense? Like, at some point you have to sit back and say, okay, in my fight for everyone's equality, what am I doing to make sure I'm okay? Because I can't help anyone if I'm falling apart. So that's what this video is. That's what this video, I want this video's intentions to be, is that we are taking care of ourselves. We are allowing ourselves to feel all the emotions that we feel. We don't have to be so strong. We don't have to be so like, at some point it is okay for us to just say, shit, I'm tired. Because that's what a lot of this has come out of. We are tired of being treated less than human. And so it's okay to say like just to fall back for a second and breathe and like find something that makes you feel like you have a place and have the drive to keep going. Oh wow, look at me doing my brows on camera. Who would have thought? In terms of like brands and everything, I understand people feel right now that brands are being very performative. Here's a thing for you guys. A lot of black people feel like brands aren't being genuine, and these feelings are completely valid because a lot of queer people feel as though brands aren't genuine during Pride Month. And so we see brands that change their profiles to like rainbows and all these things, and we've seen it now where like brands are like saying tag your favorite black queer influencer or what have you. And so I understand completely, trust me, I understand completely the frustration that people feel in terms of like performative action. I'm also in the space where it's just like, I don't have the energy to call up every single brand right now because there are literally black bodies dying. Obviously, if a brand is doing some ass work, like some asinine shit, then obviously it's a chop. But right now I'm trying to take the approach that there are bigger issues, and so these brands that we feel are being performative, we will see going forward how they act. Do these brands need to be called up? Absolutely. So I am completely on board with that. Clearly I'm on board with that because of the whole ColourPop situation, which I kind of want to like, it feels we're talking about the ColourPop situation right now in this kind of discussion, but because so many people still don't understand what's going on, just to like clarify, ColourPop has reached out to Josh and I several times. We have had very lengthy discussions about representation and like moving forward, how the brand plans to operate. Josh and I will be working hands-on with this brand from here on out. At least we will be working with ColourPop now to make sure that the issues that the general public has are being voiced. Like, of course, the representation needs to be improved. The actual quality of products on deeper complexions is also a thing that comes up a lot. So these issues that everyone is expressing, we hear them because we've expressed these issues as well. And ColourPop has heard them because we've expressed those issues to them. So hopefully, if you're watching this and you have any questions about like how the whole ColourPop situation happened, because I know like it happened literally in the middle of the George Floyd situation and the Breonna Taylor situation. Like it literally was like bam bam. So obviously we weren't going around talking about it because clearly there were black bodies on the street. But I do want to at least make it known that there is work being done that involves black creators such as me and Josh, and that there's going to be a lot of changes being made, and hopefully this will be the start of a new era for ColourPop, if you will, and a new era for brands as well. Like that's what I kind of wanted to triage the situation into. It's like, I know it's frustrating to see these brands just now care about black people, but I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt that this is a situation that needs to be fixed, needs to be addressed. It shouldn't take a black body to address, a dead black body to address this, but that's where we are. I applaud the work that's actually being done, because I know some people may feel as though all of this is performative. I understand that completely. But I applaud at least the effort that's being put into it. The effort that's being made to support black queer or black creators, especially black queer creators in a time like this, especially black women and black trans women in a time like this, because don't know if you guys noticed, but the black woman has been mistreated since the beginning of time, and black trans women are being mistreated time and time again. Like we are seeing constant stories about how another black trans woman is being murdered and killed, sometimes by their own people, and that's the frustrating part. And so I am happy that so many people are willing to take their platforms and use it to show the severity of the situation and show their support. And I hope this continues going forward. I hope we continue to see brands show support to black people, black queer people, black trans people, black women, just all of it. One last thing before we get into that, like I'm just going to say this right now. The severity of black women, the treatment of black women and black trans women is very important. Understand that when we say all Black Lives Matter, we are including every black cisgender male, cisgender female, queer male, so that means or bi, gay, asexual, non-binary, every male on that spectrum, every female on that spectrum, every trans person on that spectrum. This is important because I feel like, and it sucks that so many people continue to push this idea that this is just the gay agenda and this, that, and it's just like, no, like understand, like black people of all creeds matter right now. Like the reason why the Black Lives Matter movement was pushed so hard is because of a black queer male. So we deserve just as much respect as every cisgender person, and like you can say that there's a gay agenda all you want to, but at the end of the day, queer people are going to continue to exist in these spaces with other black people. So you need to make sure these queer people are being treated the same way that other black people are being treated. So if you want equality for yourself as a black cisgender male, then you need to make sure there's equality for black women and black trans people and black queer people. That's it. I feel like I still haven't talked about mental health. So we're gonna, okay, so how are you doing? Hi, how are you doing? Take care of yourself, black people. Please take care of yourself. I know that our black voices are so important right now, and so many people are looking to us to speak up about situations that are constantly going on. But again, black people, you are entitled to just step away for a second and take care of yourself. You are entitled to feel as though you become overwhelmed, and there is a space for you to say, whoa. There is space for that. There's room for that. I just want black people to take care of themselves in every facet. And I know it's hard, and I know it's difficult to sit back and say, what can I do to make myself happy in a time where my own brother down the street doesn't have a high life expectancy rate. Like, it's okay. It's okay to take time to yourself. It is perfectly fine to say, I need a break. And so I want black people to be able to take care of themselves in this situation. Continue to use your voices for what's right, but also like make sure that you're taking care of yourself in the same space. Like, hell, we don't have much. At least make the stuff that we have worth it. So that's it. That's the video. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's totally okay to unplug.
Yeah.
Because like I know, like we feel like we have to stay informed. We have to know every single thing that goes on at the moment it happens. But this shit is traumatizing as fuck.
No, for real. Dead ass.
Take care of yourself. Be kinder to one another. Blacks only. And black.
You hear that here first, people. The bully of the internet says to be kind to one another.
I didn't say I'm gonna be kind. I said y'all need to be kind. We're not talking about me.
Sometimes I legit question our friendship.
It's scary because a lot of us grew up hearing stories about how our grandparents, our great-grandparents, and their friends were constantly protesting for this kind of stuff. And so not a lot of us really appreciated that we didn't have to do as much protesting or any true protesting until recent events.
Yeah.
And yeah, 2015, 2014 when it all really started up again with Black Lives Matter movement happened.
Yeah. The first round.
That was a wake-up call, but it didn't hit heavy until 2020.
Yeah.
And so now a lot of us are I'm realizing we have to go to the streets and have these protests and understand why these riots are happening, because now we're now literally walking a mile in our ancestors' shoes.
Yeah.
A lot of us, a lot of our worlds have been completely shifted.
Yeah.
Turned upside down. A lot of the foundations we were standing on fell from under our feet, and it feels like we're falling in a constant hit of darkness right now, because every single time we look at our phones, open the media, or even just turn around, there's a new person dead every day now.
Right.
And it's actually more than a new person. There's a group of people dying altogether. No matter what we do. Trans women dying at an even more higher rate now. Black people dying at an even more higher rate right now. Like, we are literally dying left and right, and it's now even more apparent. It's our friends, it's our family, it's people we never thought we would be losing.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's scary. We're scared, and if people say they're not scared, they're angry. So what happens when you're scared and angry? We fight back. Like we have nothing else to lose, because at this point, what do we have to lose?
Right.
We are. It's scary. It's really, really scary. And it sucks because not even 2 weeks ago, I went to a protest, and this lady with a walker, I asked her age, and she said she's my grandmother's age. She's older than my grandmother. My grandmother is 89 years old.
Yeah.
And she's got crying to herself and saying she can't believe she still has to take to the streets and fight this. 89 years old. Like, she shouldn't have to be in these streets doing that anymore.
Right.
And it's not, yes, it's every black person's job to fight this battle. But a lot of people don't realize some of us black people didn't have to fight that battle for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of people who were in that situation now have to have that fight. So that, as I said, their whole worlds just turned upside down and fell underneath their feet. And they were plunged into a reality they never thought they would have to have.
Right.
So there's a lot of tension, a lot of us fighting each other because we're failing to realize they had a completely different reality.
Mm-hmm.
And now their reality is crashing into ours, or theirs into the others.
Yeah.
So what do we do? Do we keep fighting? Do we stop? Do we make exceptions here and there? Like, our generation's in a new space that we learned about and never thought we had to live through.
Yeah, it was like we thought, oh, this is what our grandparents went through, and they fought so that we could have it easier. Now we are literally just going. It's a cycle.
We're fighting it for our future children, our friends, our family, and so on, and their future family, you know, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
it's a war you never thought we had to go through.
Yesterday, that was like, black people are not a monolith. And I think that's one thing. So I think that people, it is kind of hard to be like how we're feeling. I think it's just a really stressful situation. And at this point, we are still acknowledging everything that's going on, but like, we're all trying to do what makes us happy so that we're not too stressed out and too focused on it.
Yeah.
But I do think that because of that, I know for myself, I feel a little bit guilty about that at times. And it's like, why should I feel guilty about doing something that de-stresses me?
Yeah.
Because, like, when I'm not doing it, I am too busy thinking about, like, well, what happens if I go outside?
Yeah.
You know, all that stuff. Or what if I get a call from one of my parents or my grandparents or a friend or something, you know, like, I don't know, it's just it's a very complicated thing, and we're just kind of feeling every emotion possible.
Yes. Very much so.
Like, I don't even know if I can even articulate how I feel, because it's just a lot. It's like people think that because we're kind of falling back, it's just kind of like, I mean, talking about it, we're still thinking about it, we're still, you know, calling out fuckery when we see it.
Yeah.
But, like, at the same time, we're just tired of having to fight every single fucking day.
Absolutely.
Because I know I'm tired of fighting every day, or, like, having to talk every day, or having to block people and report people every fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, it's too much. Like, I want to be able to, like, go on Twitter and just talk about dumb shit sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? I just want to be able to, like, let loose and have some fun for a second. But, like, that doesn't mean... And then there's that, too. It's like, we feel... Like how I said, I feel guilty. And I'm sure there's other people who kind of feel guilty when it's like, well, I don't want to just sit here and, like, focus on it, or I feel weird about posting my artwork. Even though, like, we should be posting our art. We should be sharing ourselves. We should be doing things that make us feel less down.
Yeah.
We also, like, feel weird about doing it because we don't want to seem like our work here is done.
Yeah.
Being dismissive or anything of the sort. But, yeah, I feel like that's kind of like a collective of how we feel. Like, obviously, again, we're not a monolith, so we can't always speak for everybody. This is, like, the majority of us all kind of feel the same way of just, like, tired, people confused and scared, and like also kind of hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do see things, at least government-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much with Trump. Let's not.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to like state stuff or like all those types of things, I feel like people are listening now.
Yeah.
More than they ever were. They still aren't listening enough. but there's still like a glimmer of hope that our voices are being heard, at least.
Woo! Black feelings are valid. Just gonna finish my face. So now what? Now what do we do? To be honest, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I feel like, sadly, the work is not going to end anytime soon. Because like, hell, our parents and grandparents had to fight and they thought the work would be over, but clearly it's not. So what can we do? We can continue to sign petitions. We can continue to rally together as a people. We can continue to stand up for the things that are societally wrong. Like, continue to fight and support people in fights that need it. Like, if you're non-black, support black people right now. If you are black, support black women and support black queer people and support black trans people. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be a pretty fight, but at some point we have to be able to just rally together and just say, you know what, this is fucked up. Let's stop this. And I feel like once people start taking that mentality on, major changes are going to happen. Like, we've already seen some changes happen where they're like the Breonna Taylor law, where you can't break into a house without a warrant, and now cops are forced to have on their body cams at all times. And so yeah, there are changes being made. There's still pushback. People still think that because Black Lives Matter is something that's trending right now, that we don't care about other lives, and it's not true. Like, I've seen Latino people say that they don't want to support Black Lives Matter because there are issues with the Latino community going on, and that's completely true. But I know that there were a lot of black people who supported the Latino community whenever the legalization issue was a hot topic, and I would like that same support for us as a whole. But it's hard, especially like black people know this, especially that we have constantly had to battle against so many oppressions from other minorities. And so at some point people have just got to like put egos aside and realize that if we aren't being treated fairly, then you're not going to be treated fairly. Like, I don't know what else we have to do or say to get people to understand that concept. So we'll see. I just hope that people start to take the issues seriously and realize that yes, this is a black issue, but because it's a black issue, it affects everyone, especially if you yourself are a minority. Like, black issues are minority issues, trans issues are minority issues, and women's issues are minority issues. Like, there's so much going on that we have got to grow as a society and fight. And once people realize that the egos and stuff don't matter, because those who have never been oppressed don't care about which minority is treated better, they will treat us all like shit. So we shall see. But I hope there's I hope that this whole movement right now inspires a much needed change in this community and in society as a whole. So okay, guys, so this is the completed look. Don't take the Black Lives Matter movement as something for people to be selfish about. Like, we're not being selfish here. We should be, but that's not necessarily what it is. We're asking for basic human rights here. We're not asking to be treated as gods or anything. We're asking to be treated as humans. I will also have a list of ways that you can continue to support the movement going on down in the description box below. Links to donations, petitions, things of that nature. Just do what you can. Even if you can't go out and protest, like, there's still so many resources and so many things that you can do as an ally, as a human, to support the cause that's going on. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening. I know this video is long. And I know this video has a lot of uncomfortable moments, but we are living in an uncomfortable time, and right now black people especially need support from people in general. I know a lot of people are having elections coming up. Vote, please. Vote. And just do your part, man. Like, anytime a minority is suffering, just support them. Like, that's all we're asking for. So, alright guys, that is the end of this video. Again, thank you for watching. If you like this video, then go ahead and give it a huge thumbs up, like, and support. It means so much. Also, make sure that if you want to continue seeing my face on your YouTube feed, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications as well, so that you don't miss the next time I upload. I promise there's going to be more relaxing and like relatable, not relatable, but like the content will definitely continue as normal in terms of like the lightheartedness of it all, because right now I feel like we still need, like, we need that lighthearted mentality, and I like to think I can provide some of that, so whatever. But definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell and all that stuff. Follow me on all my socials. That is Neøn MUA on Instagram, Twitter, as well as Snapchat. Love to have you guys be a part of the Fireflies family. I know there's been a big surge in my following on all of my platforms, so I truly appreciate all of my new followers and subscribers and everything. Thank you, and just know that this platform is made for those who don't have a voice. Like, I do this shit for black boys specifically, but I do this for black people because we need more representation. So continue to follow, continue to support, share, tell everyone, tell a friend, tell a friend's friend, tell your mama and your stepmama, tell everyone to support me and other black creators. So thank you guys so much. I know this is a weird video, but like, hey, weird times. So thank you so much for watching. Again, I truly appreciate it, and until next time, take care, be safe, use your voice, watch more content, but like, more importantly than the content, make sure you guys are being safe. There's still a pandemic going on. Take care of yourselves, and also make sure you're taking care of others. Thank you so much, and